So guys, today we're going to show you a couple of clients who created phenomenal results with our mentorship process. And we're doing this in order for you to see what's possible for you so that you grow your belief in you and what you're capable of. And I deeply believe that there is no difference between us and yourself. The only difference is we recognize the value of the tools that were in front of us, we invested in them, and we transformed our reality. And we want you to be inspired in terms of what you can do with the same tools as well. So we have Johanne today, Johanne O'Halloran. Johanne, how about we just start with maybe a short introduction, what you do, where you are, just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. So as I said, I'm Johanne. I am in Laois in Ireland, and I am a single mum, which sounds really weird because my daughter is an adult and I'm about to be a granny.
Yeah, congratulations. I love that. So good.
I am now a business success coach for female coaches, and I show them the tactics and the strategies to be able to generate consistent clients. So that is a little bit about me.
And Johanne sometimes pops over and teaches my clients as well. Strategy.
Yeah, and you do mine.
That last week, and I pop over and I teach hers. It's beautiful synergy. I love it. So Johanne, tell us maybe a little bit about what was happening before you joined Thinking into Results and what inspired you to join the mentorship.
Yeah, so you're going back to 2020, early 2020, actually. I can't believe it's nearly 3 years.
Pandemic.
Wow. So yeah, my life was completely different. I was in the corporate world, and I was very lost, but I was lost in all areas of my life. So I was in quite a toxic relationship. I didn't have a good relationship with my daughter. I had just had 2 miscarriages, and it felt like everything was falling apart, and I knew something needed to shift. So I had ended the relationship, but everything else was still all in turmoil. And I was really at a point where I just didn't know what direction to go with anything. Like, all I'd ever known was human resources from a corporate point of view. I'd spent 17 years in it, and it never lit me up. I never enjoyed it, but I didn't know that I didn't enjoy it. And obviously I was going on a journey of discovery and trying to figure out what was going on. And I'd actually gone for counseling to try and relieve what I was feeling and everything I thought that was wrong with me, because I'd been told there was something wrong with me. And thankfully, I met such a lovely counsellor who, after the second session, said to me, Johanne, this is not what you need. You know, you need healing from the inside in a different way. And she sent me for bioenergy healing, which was something I'd never heard of before. And anyone who loves manifestation will know signs are there. And when you follow the signs, amazing things happen. And that's exactly what happened, because when I went for the bioenergy healing, she gave me a copy of The Secret. Yes, I had never read it before. Shock, but it is what it is. But as I was reading it, all I kept thinking was Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor, amazing. Oh my God, Bob Proctor. And I had actually been on a hen that weekend. When I came home on the Monday, I saw an ad on Facebook for Eva. And I was like,
Bob Proctor.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who this lady is, but she's with Bob Proctor. It's a sign. I rang one of my friends at midnight and was like, you have to come with me. She was the only one that I knew wouldn't think I was crazy. Went up to Dublin to a hotel, had no idea who Eva was, but I still remember you speaking on the stage. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't remember everything that you talked about, but what I do remember is you sharing your story about how you were in the corporate world and how you used to get up in the morning, dread going to work, but on the outside, everything was picture perfect. And I was like, that is literally how I feel. And I'd never heard a woman say that before. And I was like, you know, on the outside, I owned my own house as a single mom. Wasn't I great? Like, you know, I was providing amazing for my daughter. She was able to do horse riding. Like, everything on the outside was great, but inside it was horrendous. Like, I didn't enjoy anything. And you saying that, I was like, oh, okay, this is the lady to fix me. I'm going to use those words because that's what I said, fix me. And I still remember our conversation, me saying to you, I have no idea what I want, but I can tell you everything I don't want. And you were like, that's okay. That's okay. And then within 4 weeks, within 4 weeks, particularly around the self-image piece, once I understood that and allowed myself to really like get curious about it and step into it and, you know, look at what was working and what wasn't working for me and who I got to be. And I went back to the page, the sheet of paper that I had written all the notes on that Eva had talked about that day. And up at the very top corner, I said, I want to do what Eva does. But it was in teaching.
So good.
Which was a coach. Yeah. And like, obviously, me being in human resources, I'd always coached. That was what had kept me in HR, was like, I'd had a team of 18 people. I hated my job, but oh my God, did I love them. And I loved seeing them succeed. And I remember having arguments with my boss because I'd be happy when the team went off and got a better job because they were being elevated. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, this is brilliant.
You're helping them. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Love it.
to know that that was okay and that was actually, I was doing exactly what I should have been doing, but I could step into it on my own was amazing. And things just kind of spiraled and skyrocketed from there.
Beautiful. Oh, so listen, I remember that day. That was my last in-person event, I think.
For
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
It was just before COVID, and you invested in this mentorship just when COVID came, which is quite incredible, right? Right, bearing in mind the circumstances. So, what are some of your biggest wins since you started? My goodness.
So I share my wins from both a personal and a professional because they you know, there's kind of hand in hand with both.
So many of them.
From a personal point of view, I was actually able to see my miscarriages for something that were really beautiful, which was great because they've
Wow.
gifted me the opportunity to speak on like different platforms across the world about my miscarriages. And, you know, I wouldn't have had that opportunity beforehand. My relationship with Leah is like 10 times better. Like she even stepped out of what she was doing in college to go follow her passion, which
Oh, so good.
that was incredible, you know, and like I had no judgment around it either, which I know I would have done before because I would have been so much in control. Things flowed a lot easier and I was very much open to opportunities now versus going, oh my God, I can't do that because I'm too shy, or, you know, what will somebody else think? So it opened up a lot more doors. On a professional point of view, I quit my job, opened up a business.
Well done.
And started making money. So yeah, no, like I have to say things flow an awful lot better now as well because I'm working on my terms and I'm working, when I say I'm working a lot less, I love work. So I'm working, but as in I choose now when I work versus being told when I have to work. And I'm doing something I really, really love that's generating incredible results. Like when I see all these women that have gone from like, you know, being in a corporate job that they hated to like having their own business where they're like sold out with clients, and to go, I had my hand in that is pretty exciting, you know?
Can you share with us a little bit about how your income changed? Because I think it's very interesting as well to see where you were before.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how that's changed, because obviously with you being business and success coach now, it's very different.
Oh, totally different. So I was always kind of earning around the 60K mark, and I might hover up to 70 depending on my bonuses. But when I met you, we'd gone through a horrific time with changes of companies and a lot of drama. And because of COVID, my hours in work had dropped to 15, and I had taken a pay cut down to 35 grand. So I'm not even going to do it was a struggle. So I wasn't earning a whole pile at all at that stage. My worth as a HR, like head of HR, was crazy. Whereas now, like when I launch, it's like multiple 5-figure months in my launches because I don't sell every month. I go in ebbs and flows. That's the way I like to do it. But it's multiple 5 figures. My highest month was in January of this year, which was just shy of 45K. But on average, it's roughly around 20-ish, which is lovely because like it's broken down between recurring income and then cash injections. So great. Like.
And it's like, I don't know, nearly a full year's income, corporate income in 1 month.
It's more than that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Congratulations.
Well, back then it's more than that.
This is so good. And I think you forgot to mention manifesting the significant other.
Oh, I know.
You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so very similar to Eva's story, actually. I was like, screw that. I want a business and I want a man, right? I want both. So I had set up the whole thing of listing out everything that I wanted, not material things, but like as in qualities that I really, really wanted. And yeah, just over a year ago now, met Robert, and yeah, things have been super easy. Like he's into personal development and so supportive. He hasn't got a clue what I do, but he's incredibly supportive. Do you know, like if I get excited about something, he gets excited about something, and it's just so easy. So I split my time now between here and where he lives, which is on the coast. So it's great. And because I can work from anywhere, we can like go on our little hollybops, and I get to
Oh,
work beside the sea and stuff. So yeah, it's really nice. It's a completely different way. And I
mhm.
will say this is another benefit of working for yourself, is that I can actually go and spend so much time along where he lives, because I can work from anywhere, and it's so
Location
tranquil down
free.
there. Yeah.
All you need is internet.
Well, I wait till I tell you this. I heard the best one the other day, a business in a bag. I was like,
Yeah.
that's it, a
So
business in a
a
bag.
business in the laptop. I love this. Or on your phone. I love it.
Mm.
So listen, I have a couple of questions. Number one, all the changes outside. Oh my goodness, there's like so many of them, but they are coming out of your change inside,
Mm.
who you've become as a person. What do you think is the biggest change in you since you started?
Oh, so vulnerability is no longer my enemy. I was a massive controller. So I'm very clear now on what my personality style is, and I'm what they call a controlling promoter. So I know that I can be super excitable, and that's okay. That's why I'm really good at, like, teaching stuff. But I'm also super controlled. So the fact that I'm aware of that means I can let go of that and give myself permission to be vulnerable and open, and look at things in a different light, and ask for help.
Yeah.
Asking for help. So just to be very clear, what my asking for help before looked like was, yes, I'll sign up for a program, but I'll watch everybody else ask the questions. I won't ask the questions, because God forbid somebody thinks I don't know what I'm talking about. Whereas
Oh
now
my God.
I'm going, me, I want to ask a
Yeah.
question.
So good. I think this is like a massive breakthrough in your confidence, isn't it?
Sure. But
Yeah.
I've learned, though, with confidence, confidence is whatever you choose it to be. Like, we expect to know how things are going to go, and then we'll feel confident. But when you trust yourself and you accept yourself for who you are and whatever way you are, then you're already confident, because whatever somebody says or whatever you think somebody is going to say doesn't impact you, because the judgments we think people are going to have are actually the judgments we have of ourselves.
Oh, totally. Totally. Do you want to share a little bit about public speaking and your self-expression?
Public speaking, I don't know what that was beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I hated it. The thoughts of it. Like, I don't know how many times I've shared this. I hated public speaking so much that even as the head of, like, HR, so I had the team of 18 people, was sitting on a board of like a 23 million euro turnover company, and I couldn't speak to anybody. Like, it petrified me. I coughed my way to an event once so that I wouldn't have to speak. Did I lose my voice? No. Did I lose
I
it?
relate so much.
Yeah. But whereas now, it bothered, I stood up in San Diego in front of 250 people in April. Like, it just doesn't faze me at all anymore, because I'm not inward focused, I'm outward focused. It's, what can I share with you? How can I generously give to you? What do you need to hear from me that will make your life better? So it's no longer about me, it's focused outwards. And that is a massive confidence piece for sure. So it changes. Once you know who you are, it changes.
Yeah. And Johanne, you are a strategic coach. Primarily, you do business, you do a little bit of mindset, but mostly it's business coaching. What's the value of someone who already has done business mentorship or strategic mentorship of hiring someone like me and doing thinking into results?
So and I say this all the time, I would never have done what my business coach asked me to do if I hadn't done thinking into results. Not a hope in hell, because and it's funny, I had this conversation with one of my clients on Monday.
Yeah.
Action steps that you are required to take can feel super scary, can feel uncomfortable, can feel really sickly, because they're making you go beyond whatever you thought your comfort zone was. If you're not clear on your mind and managing your mind, it's going to impact how you feel in your body, which is going to reflect on the results that you have, because you're totally being driven by everything outside of you. It's necessary. Like, I still do thinking into results every single solitary day. I continue to build on my mastery of leadership every day, because I understand I'm responsible for what I create. I'm responsible for what I source. I'm responsible for what's in my life, nobody else. So when you accept that, it changes everything. But if you don't do the mindset work, it doesn't matter whether I give you a strategy, Eva gives you a strategy, Proctor gave you a strategy, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to implement it if your mind is not in the right place. You've got to always be focused outwards on how you can serve.
Totally. Not to mention manifestation, right? Working with the entire universe. That's so much fun.
I know.
And you were unconsciously doing this before you met me, and now you're doing it consciously, which is so great. So Johanne, the moment of decision making, when you kind of you know where that I can help you, you know that I'm the right mentor for you to hit your goals, and yet the mind tries to sabotage you. Can you tell us a little bit about that moment for you? What was going on through your mind, and how did you deal with it so that you actually still invested in yourself?
So the one thing I'll say is I was grateful that I knew that beforehand. So like having that little bit of awareness that you brought around, your fears are going to come up after you make the decision. I was always, my mother still tells me I'm very stubborn and that it's my way or no way. And I now know that actually that's just me making decisions really quickly and I won't go back on them. If I truly believe it's right, I don't actually care what anybody else thinks. It's like, I'm doing this no matter what. I'll back myself. But I'd always been told that was wrong. So when it came to making the decision, I had already decided I was in. That was like a no-brainer. I actually was afraid you wouldn't work with me because I was such a mess. And because
the best client in the world.
I know, right? I know that now.
I love it so much. Yeah.
But I was terrified you wouldn't work with me because I was such a mess. And when I was on the phone to you, I was waiting on you to like get to that point. And then when you said it, I was like, yes. Then you told me the amount. I went, shit. I was like, I don't have that money. What am I going to do? I was like, oh, but in my mind, I was like, I cannot do this myself. I had tried for years. Like everything was falling apart around me. It was like, if I don't do this, then I have to accept that this is the way my life is going to continue. So I'm like, for all of you out there that don't know, I might have lied to Eva a little bit. So
you did. And you got away with it.
I know. I had €1,400 in my bank account and that was it. I had no savings. Like I kid you not, everything had been maxed out because of my last relationship. Like everything was gone. There was nothing anywhere. Credit cards maxed out. Like there was nothing in savings. And obviously COVID then it hit. So I had no capacity for loans or anything. And I was like, I told Eva, I was like, there's €1,400 in my bank account. I just need to get the rest from the credit union. So if you're not in Ireland, it's like another place that we put money. There was no money in the credit union. But in my mind, I'm like, it will come because it will come. Yeah. So, but after I made that decision and emptied my bank account, of which was like our food money, our like electricity money, like any money to live on, and I didn't know where the rest of the money was going to come from. Fear did kick in. I went, shit, what have I done? Like if I tell anyone what I've done now that we're in COVID, I very little hours in work. I'm a single parent. Nobody else is going to pay the bills. What the hell am I going to do? So I couldn't tell anyone. But 2 days later, as we've all heard the story multiple times, a check literally arrived in the post from the company I'd worked for previously that had been liquidated. And we thought we'd never see that money because it had gone through all the bells and whistles and hoops and all that. And we never thought we'd see it. And there it was, check in the post, paid for Eva and gave me my 1,400 back, which was great. And sorry, I've done that multiple times since. If I make a decision, that's it. I go all in because of the action steps I take. But fear did kick in. It did. And I did go, what the hell have I done? Like, have I absolutely lost the plot here?
What did you say to yourself when it did kick in? How did you get over it?
I text you.
You did? Okay, cool. I love it. Best thing in the world.
I'm so glad you told me about this fear because it's definitely kicked in. And you were like, it's great that you have awareness about that.
Yeah, because there's a difference between people who don't understand why fear kicks in. It's simply your financial thermostat wanting to stay put, right? But if you understand that this is like psychology and you're not going to die, you're not going to go under the bridge, then you're more likely to keep going for what you want. Otherwise, you're just going to stay put, like majority of people, 97% of population. I love this, Johanne, and that story is just like showing exactly how we need to be. Like we have to be stubborn if we want something different. And I was like you, I'm like, I'm going to go to 3 different banks to get the money. Who cares? I'm doing it, right? So I deeply believe that we have to be a little bit like this mule, like when I make a decision, nothing is going to talk me out of it. My mind, my partners, my environment. No, I'm doing it and it has to happen. And only in those instances, we actually make it happen, right? So I love that you were already wired like this because it helped you a lot. And there is a lot of people right now watching us, and some of them may be in similar situation where you were, and some of them may already be in business, but they feel like they're hitting the ceiling and they want to go to that next level with greater joy and ease. And of course, a lot of them already feel that I can help them reach their goal, but of course, fear kicks in, worry kicks in, all that stuff kicks in. What would you say to them?
Fear always exists. But you can't avoid it. It's always going to exist. And every time you go to your next level, it exists. But you've got to make a decision. Do you want something different? Do you want to get to that next level, or do you not? There, like I always say, there's only ever two questions you need to ask yourself. Will it get me to where I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
No conditions attached, just yes or no. And does it fit with my morals? And then if it does, what's left to ask? Like there's nothing, because like if I've learned anything when it comes to money, it will always come. You will always figure out a way to create it, but you've got to speak out what you want. You've got to take the action steps to do it. Like, you know, even if it's like to book a call and it will then come, it's like to put a date in the diary, do something that will move it forward. But if you sit there and just sit there and procrastinate, that's the only thing you're ever going to call in. Wishing and wanting creates absolutely nothing but more wishing and wanting.
Yeah, we were talking, we were talking about during the masterclass, we were sharing about the financial thermostat. We all have certain kind of ceiling that we are hitting and the method of earning. And if you watching this do not make a drastic change right now, where are you going to be in next 6 to 12 months? And is that what you want? I think, sometimes we get motivated in terms of decisions by what we desire. And sometimes our bums need to burn. It's like, I don't even know if that's Irish saying, but I just made it up. It is? Is it?
I've never heard of it. We'll go with it.
Okay, I just made it up. Sometimes I translate Polish sayings into Irish. I don't know if you ever heard me speaking about, I will stand on my eyebrows to get somewhere, to achieve something. Okay, that's a Polish saying, direct translation. Anyway, yeah, that's fun. But what I mean, let me translate from my Polish English. What I mean is, like, sometimes you need to feel the pain. Like sometimes it's not necessarily, because when we are comfortable, like you were not comfortable, you were not fulfilled, I was not fulfilled. Even though on the outside it looked like we had everything, on the inside we were suffering and feeling unfulfilled. But not everybody is in this situation. Some people are quite comfortable hitting that 3,000-5,000 per month, slaving away in their business, or being still in the corporate world, but deep down they know they can do better. So for you, what might motivate you is just ask yourself, if, like, roll forward, if I don't make a drastic change now, where am I going to be in next 6 to 12 months? Just take a look at the past 6, 12 months, 2 years. How much are you earning per month? How hard is it to get it? What's the method of earning? And just ask yourself, if I don't make a drastic change, where am I going to be next 6 to 12 months? Is this what I want? And if it's a no, what do you want? And maybe you want to hit your goal. And I think we both agree, Johanne, we both hire mentors. We both accepted the idea that, I think it's a risky business to say you can't do it without a mentor, but hand over my heart, I wouldn't do it without a mentor, because I was a corporate employee going into business in corporate mindset. Doesn't fly, not to mention the confidence and all of that. And I think a lot of people are trying to do it themselves, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot. It is so much quicker. My mentor mentioned that it's like 10 years of struggle on your own in 6 months. So much quicker, so much easier. Everything is laid out for you and you hit your goals. All you need to do is show up and follow instructions. And for me, that's like a piece of cake, right? and then we watch our clients perform miracles few years after, right? It's like you did TIR and then boom, you keep flying all the time, which is so beautiful. So listen, guys, hope that this inspired you and shows you what you're capable of. Johanne and I are no different to you. We may be from different countries. We are women, you might be a man or a woman, we don't know. But there is no difference. We have the same mind. We have a potential, which is infinite. And all we need to do is learn to wire our mind for the success we desire. And you cannot fail if you just do it and show up. So hope this inspired you. The link is in the comments. You can join us and secure our special bonuses. Thank you so much for watching. Let me just stop the recording.